Welcome to 7 Days to Die. Alright, so I figured I'd make a video here because I decided to host a server a few days ago, and I ran into a lot of people that really had, let's be honest, they had no clue. And if you're one of those people who's kind of just entering the game, finding it really hard, I figured I'd make this video for you. The first things you want to be doing is you want to find a source of plant fiber, so that's pretty much the grass. And obviously I'm screwing this up a little bit, but basically you want to hear that punching sound of grass, pick it up. Alright, and the reason you're going to be doing this is because the first two weapons are going to require plant fiber, so that's your crossbow and your stone axe. These are really essential starting components to any game in 7 days. So okay, let's get our sticks here. Okay, bird's nest is beautiful, you're going to need the feathers. You need that for your crossbow bolts. Okay, so a little more grass here, get some fiber, yeah. Some more sticks. Alright. And these are absolutely fantastic. This is sort of like a log, basically. Depending on the biomes, you can do different stuff with it, but basically with that you can pretty much create planks. So in the desert biome, look at that as being your tree, essentially. So let's make some planks here. There we go. Okay, those are going to be used later for stuff like sticks and stuff. Alright, see, so now just turn them into sticks for planks. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Alright, so tons of sticks. Now the grass, you just search in here, plant fiber or grass, it's very easy to find it. And so that's pretty much what you're going to do with grass throughout the game. You're going to turn into plant fibers, okay. So I think you're going to need 2 of those for the crossbow and 1 for the stone axe. So I'll make 4, it doesn't matter. Always better to have more than have less. Now the yucca plants too are very useful later in the game. You can also eat the yucca fruit, but be careful with the plants, they will prick you. So now I think the next thing we need basically is we need to look for all these little small stones hanging around. You don't need too many of them, just a few, and that's really one of the major building blocks of the stone axe. And just notice a camera effect here. When you duck down, you see that there's the edges become a little darkened, and that's very useful in the crafting screen because the second you're detected, that'll disappear, and that's sort of your warning. Even though you can't see the hunted or whatever, you'll know. So here, the ingredients to make a stone axe. There we go. We need sharp stones, so we're going to create the sharp stones. And then we're going to go back to the axe. Here we go, make the axe, take the sticks and fibers we produced before, and put them together. Alright, so now we have a stone axe, one of the essential beginning tools. Now the next one's going to be a crossbow. Now for that you can see we need all the sticks that we generated before from those planks of wood from the old aged logs, and you can just right click and drop a single stick down. And then click on the stack, yeah, right click twice, there we go, and create the crossbow. Let's give it a few seconds. I've actually got on fast craft here to help things out a little bit. There we go, okay, beautiful, we got crossbows, but we don't have crossbow bolts. That's the problem. So we need feathers, sticks, sharp stones. So unfortunately for now we can only make 1, but it's pretty much for demonstration purposes. You just hit the reload button there and you can load her up. So again, you want to be picking up all that wood that's hanging around. Always take the opportunity to raid whatever you can. You never know what you're going to find. Honestly, most of it's going to be junk, but a lot of stuff early on in the game, you don't really know, and so you just pick up everything. And here you can see, beautiful, beautiful. There's an excellent weapon. You've got, for clubs, you've got spiked and barbed and iron reinforced, and actually the best is to have spiked. And that helmet, honestly, I've never found a helmet before, so that's pretty awesome. So we'll just stick it on the character here, just click anywhere, it attaches it, and you can see the head is now protected a lot more than before. So just keep raiding everything, pick up whatever. Books, honestly, not useful early game, only later on, and you really use them to make TNT charges and stuff. So we'll go around. Now you see this stone here. This is always a good option because you can get stone fragments, and those stone fragments can be turned into small stones, and you're also going to get iron fragments from it for tool creation later on in the game. So that's a good way to avoid having to go around and picking up all these small stones. So you just tackle 1 or 2 of these big guys, and you got all the small stones you need. Now you'll notice that when I step back there, you when you hit E, it almost seems like you've got this extra gravitational attraction around your body. So you don't actually have to look at an item that's lying on the ground all the time to pick it up. So especially when you're mining, you just press and hold E and things are sort of magnetized and they come towards you. Okay, there we go. All right. And aloe plants, you might want to keep make a note of that. They're very useful in the desert biome because you can use them for medications. And all these birds' nests, never just go by them and never think about it. Pick them up all the time. It's always useful because your crossbow bolts absolutely require them. And watch out, like I said, for those yucca plants. They'll prick you, they'll harm you, but I don't think you can actually bleed out from them, but you can get fruit. Alright, so coming up here, we're going to run into a zombie. We're also going to run into those infected dogs. Okay, so here, I don't honestly, tactic that I have is just sprint backwards until they're within your attack range. I'm just going to pull out the club here, yeah. So just hit them once or twice, they'll take you down. There you go. But just don't let them get close enough. So you really got to eye it. You got to know the distance that you can hit with your spike club or whatever it is that you're using. I believe the fire axe is one of the longest ranges, but really you can hit the dog with anything, and later on I think I'll actually try it with a stone axe. But here, headshot, just to show you how powerful the crossbow is, and that's why it's a really effective weapon to have, because you can keep some zombies at a really great distance. So now we're gonna get the dog back, start running backwards, maybe sprint a little bit, get him close, and there you go. Problem solved. And honestly, usually I don't provide anything, but in this case, yeah, here we go. So you want to use the hides because later on you're going to get a leather tanning skill book, and you can learn leather tanning, make chest plates and pants and everything. Okay, so yeah, let's try the stone axe. You know, it's one of the first weapons you can craft, but it's still actually pretty useful. You get 2 headshots in, you take out a spider. That's not bad. So it's a pretty effective early game weapon that you can use to defend yourself. And one thing you got to watch out is always watch your back, because you never really know. The spiders, I think they tend to call in other zombies, so whenever you kill one, they screech and they will attract attention to your location, so just be aware of that. And just always turn around. What I tend to do is, whenever I raid something, I tend to raid it and then just immediately sprint away from it. I don't in whatever direction, because you never know when something's crawling behind you. So yeah, just pick up whatever you find around the cars. They're usually beautiful items, a lot of recyclable material here. Even the cans, they look like crap, but don't be fooled, you can use them. Let's put on these, picked up some, there we go, some boots, put those on. You can see you get an extra few hit points every time you do that, so it'll help your character out a little bit. This guy hit. You gotta watch out for the crawlers because they're kind of hard to see, especially in the grass. Maybe not in the desert biome so much, but certainly in other biomes like the pine forest. They're gonna be crawling on the ground, and you'll just all of a sudden have your legs broken, or you'll be on the ground and you're losing health. And you say, "What the hell's going on?" Spin around, and you see one of those hanging on your tail. So usually best to keep an eye on them. I tend to like hitting them with a crossbow, not really with any clubs, because I find it a bit awkward to aim down this. So here, let's make some more bolts. You need a lot of sharp stones. Incidentally, you can close the window when you're crafting. You don't have to keep it open. So right now it's crafting, and you can see they finished crafting. So don't do what I did when I first started the game, which I thought you had to keep the window open all the time to craft. You don't have to do it. You can close it, it's fine. Same thing with the forges and the campfires. You can walk away, it doesn't matter. And here you can just click, if you've created an item before, and you can just click on the item itself, the computer will automatically put some of the parts in for you, if you have them in your stock. Let's just finish raiding here. So just pick up everything, even the hubcaps you can recycle into scrap metal, which comes in handy. Okay, so single hit to the head, he's out of town. Okay, bottled water is beautiful. So basically that's kind of how you just start out by raiding. And you can see there's really not too much to fear. This game right now is on all the standard settings. I have a server called Goosebumps Montreal, and pretty much the exact same server settings that I have. And I see a lot of people getting killed all the time, but there's really no need for it. You don't really have to worry too much. Once you get the hang of it, it's fairly straightforward. Nothing to worry about, no sweat. Just see what's over the hill here. And in general, you know, if you have a map, you can look it up. But in general, if you want to get out of the sand dunes, just go north. You're either going to end up in some sort of wasteland, or you're actually going to find yourself in a pine forest of some kind. So here we go. Now, here you see this discoloration here. That's usually a sign of clay. However, in this particular case, you'll find that the clay is actually overlain with sand and sandstone. So the shovel, let's pull this out. I looted that, and the shovel is actually, I think, one of the best tools to dig up any loose material. So right now we're just picking up sand, and you know, that's not really something we want to do unless you want to make jars. Sand's great, but so let's dig down a little bit. I think it's still sand, but eventually we end up hitting clay, which is really great. And clay is really essential once you start getting some forges. One of the main questions that I think I've seen in the forums is, where the hell do you get the clay? And it's really this red colored soil, but sometimes it can be a little bit elusive. So here we're just digging around and we're picking up clay. It's usually just a little bit under the surface, so just make little test holes, find out if you have it in your region or not. And if you don't keep digging, just find another hole, maybe a few feet away, and try again. There we go. And just when you hit E, like I said, everything looks like it's magnetized towards you. Now here's a little trick. So I find oftentimes when I'm mining, and I like to mine a lot, I actually sometimes chase an ore down a hole. So the problem is that you're going to end up getting stuck in your hole. So you can just take the ore, or in this case, sandstone, and you can just place it, right click. So just jump up, and then quickly place it, and it'll go under your feet. See here, swing it down as you jump up. And basically you can replace the blocks with whatever you've mined out before there. Beautiful, see? So you can actually use that in all sorts of ways, including base building. So here, I'll just on the left there, I'm going to make a little pile of sandstone. So you can just place one block on top of the next and make a little tower, make a berm, whatever. But it's just something to consider when base building later on in the game. So hopefully that's kind of wrap things up for you, and maybe it'll help you out. Hopefully. All right, see you in game.